Events were not restricted to Dublin alone, of course. Major public parades were held throughout the country. The Proclamation of Independence was read on many occasions.
Having organised and trained her manhood through her secret revolutionary organisation.
The Republic guarantees religious and civil liberty.
Will administer the civil and military affairs of the Republic in trust for the people.
We hereby proclaim the Irish Republic as a sovereign independent state.
RTE cameras were present at events held in many provincial towns to capture it all in colour. Veterans of the 1916 Rising came out in their hundreds and were basking in the glory bestowed upon them by their fellow townspeople. It was also a chance for the army to exhibit their wares locally.
The simple cross with the Easter lily marks the actual spot on which each one of 13 of our leaders stood to face the firing squad.
Kilmainham Jail, where 14 of the leaders of the Rising were executed, was unsurprisingly an important venue during the commemoration. President Damon de Valera lay a wreath at the site. He himself fought in the Rising and was imprisoned here, but was saved from execution due to his US citizenship. They used the occasion to open the old jail as a museum for the public, as a tribute to all those who were imprisoned here and who sacrificed their lives for the cause of Irish freedom. The building was saved from dereliction by volunteers who began restoring it in 1960. Seamus Bruce was in charge of the restoration of the main compound. He spent 10 years working for nothing on the restoration, giving 5,000 hours in total. He was present on the day it was opened by de Valera, and it's one of his proudest moments.
It's a great asset, I'd say, to the nation. It's not lost, it's been saved, and it has a new role in the education of our young population, of the explaining of the sacrifice and fortitude of the people who were incarcerated here, and the lesson they passed on of our love of freedom. Our independence wasn't something that you could pick up at a corner shop. It was hard come by.
Eamon de Valera still held huge ambitions for Ireland at that time of great change.
I think there's one thing to be said for de Valera, and that was that he remained very consistent in terms of what his major ambitions were. He had social ambitions. He had, like any other statesman, any other politician, he wanted to give people what they needed. But specifically, the emphasis on the Irish language. For him, the Irish language was an inheritance that was within our grasp to take, recreate and reinvigorate and renew. And I think constantly that was his message. And I think there's no secret about it that he had indicated to other people that if it became a choice between reunification and the restoration of Irish, he'd opt for the restoration of Irish.
And throughout the Jubilee, de Valera reiterated his ambitions for Ireland, as well as the restoration of the Irish language. He spoke of his hopes for the reunification of the country and of a future friendship with Britain.
A real friendship, a friendship that would stand the test, because in the long run, the fate of these two islands, the people of these two neighbouring islands, is likely to be the same, ultimately. We must go our different ways, have our different intellectual and spiritual ideals, but materially and otherwise, these two islands are to a large extent set by nature here off the coast of Europe, and they are destined to be neighbours, and they should be friends.
All of the footage shot during Easter Week 1966 can now be accessed on www.rte.ie/libraries.